Hello and welcome to Colonial Michilimackinac. My name is LeeAnn and today we are going to look at some of the things in one of our soldiers' gardens here at the fort. We know that by the 1760s, when the British military arrived here, they had very well established supply lines. The government was sending them their clothing, their supplies, and they were also sending them their rations, which generally included bread, dried peas, salted pork, and a couple of other food items. However, what the military could not send them at places like Michilimackinac was fresh food, and we all know that fresh food is critical to keeping healthy. Those vitamins and minerals that are only found in green things are really important to keep us going. So in our garden, we know that this lot specifically was where the soldiers worked. Originally it was a house, but by the time the British got here, some of those old French houses were in bad shape and they were tearing them down. And this lot in particular became one of the soldiers' gardens. So some of the things that we grow here are vegetables, especially root vegetables. We also are growing a few herbs. So let's take a look at some of those plants. The first vegetable that we're going to look at here are turnips. Our turnips right now are still kind of small, but they do well in cooler weather, and they also do well at places where the soil is very sandy, and that is absolutely Michilimackinac. We are very close to the water, and it is quite sandy on our beach. So turnips would be sliced up and cooked and added to salt pork and peas. The leafy greens might be used in a salad. In either case, they're a very useful vegetable for the British soldier. One of the other vegetables that we grow here in the King's Garden are leeks. We grow onions as well. All of those plants in the allium family are very useful. They add flavor, but our onion season is done. It is October now, and the leeks are still going strong. They're cold, hardy, and this particular variety is called Giant Musselburgh or Giant Musselburgh leeks. So these will, again, add flavor to the table of the British soldier. We know that peas and beans are really high protein, and in the 18th century, they also keep really well. So they were sent out to places like Michilimackinac. However, it is also nice to have fresh beans on the table and fresh peas on the table. So behind me, we have the most windproof trellis of this garden that has successfully grown some beautiful scarlet runner beans this season. They're not flowering right now, but when they are in flower, they have beautiful red blossoms that the bees and the hummingbirds love. And the beans themselves are so delicious when they're small. They can be cooked fresh, boiled or sauteed. And when the pods get dry and crispy, you can shell them, and those seeds inside, again, are going to be shelf stable. In the 1770s, there are no ball jars or mason jars. There's no canning. So having food that can be stored easily and that will keep for a really long time is quite a lovely advantage to any vegetable. The pods behind me are mostly green, but I think I did see one brown one. So if I dig around a little bit, let's see if we can find one. Where is it? Aha. All right. Oh, there's actually two in here. So when we open these up, they're nice and crispy. When you open them up, the beans are brightly colored, and this is what would be stored for the British soldiers. They could throw these in a bag and then add them to their soup or their stews that they were making. So scarlet runner beans. We also have nasturtiums growing on this trellis. The common way for growing nasturtiums, or Indian cress as they might have called it, in the 1700s is to stick a big stick in the ground, plant your seeds in a mound, and the nasturtiums theoretically grow up that stick. We did not plant our nasturtiums here. They self-seeded from last year, and we let them go. And we are very happy that we did, because they are used as a lettuce in the 1700s, and it's a very sharp flavor, I think, very spicy and very sharp as a lettuce. The seeds of the nasturtium or the Indian cress can also be eaten, and those definitely are spicy. So they have big leaves used for salads. Those seeds are useful. All in all, the nasturtiums are a nice plant for our King's Garden. All of the things in this garden would have been grown, planted, tended to by the soldiers themselves. The British military in the 18th century was made up largely of men that volunteered and had other careers before they joined the military. Historians know that some of the soldiers had careers like shoemaking and tailoring. They also know that a fair amount of those soldiers came from farming backgrounds and already had experience growing things. So working in a garden like this would have been natural for the men. And at Michilimackinac, the other options for work, or what they would have called fatigue duty, were chopping firewood, shoveling snow, shoveling sand in the summer away from the palisade. We also know that they were working on various other projects around the fort. So for some of the men, perhaps gardening in a place like this would have been a welcome break from some of those other chores. Thank you for taking a look at our King's Garden at Colonial Michilimackinac. Our garden, as well as many of our other programs here, are funded in large part by our Mackinac Associates group. Please check out our website and consider donating to them. We also will be opening up for our 2021 season starting in early May, so we hope to see you, if not in May, then at some point in 2021.